What's up, family? How are you doing today? This is Elliot Eddy. We're back with another webinar from Blueprint for Prosperity: Creation, Dispossession, and War. And actually, this is a series of webinars that was created by a book that I wrote it was a couple of years ago. It's called Blueprint for Prosperity: Creation, Dispossession, and War, because there is another aspect of wealth creation for kingdom entrepreneurs or kingdom business people that we have to get into. We have to know from two sides. We have to understand what the systems and the ordinances of this world, how they operate, so that we can create inside this world. We can form inside this world businesses, uh, uh, entrepreneurial endeavors, products, services, anything that we are given, whatever's mandated, whatever group of people that we're out to touch or to reach, that we can create those in a way that is going to be financially lucrative for us. But we also do it in a way that we can have a sustaining business that is also going to do good in the earth that we're in. And then there's the second aspect, which is the kingdom, which actually the kingdom comes first. And what I'm going to do is from here, I'm going to separate into two different sets of videos like this, which deal with earthborn creation, which deal with ordinances of the earth, how to create your businesses here in the earth, how to create them and build them and expand them, dispossess other land so that you can possess in this place. But we're also going to start doing a series of videos that's going to show you the kingdom mindset and how you go about it. You know, how these things are created first spiritually, and then they are formed naturally. So anyway, today, let's get to it. We have a good one today. This is from a number of questions that I've gotten from a number of business owners, especially new business owners that are trying to do something and may not have access to ample amount of credit or ample amount of capital right there. So they're looking at different ways that they can start financing their business and different things that'll allow them to get opportunities for their business. So they're asking me about corporate credit. How do you get, what is it? How do you get it? How do you maintain it? Is it separate from your personal credit? All of those things. So today we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with credit and everything that has to do with your credit. So today I'm happy to say this is Blueprint for Prosperity: 9 steps to establish and build business credit. I know the last one that I did was 5 steps to help you make more in the next 3 months than you made in the previous 6 months. So this one is 9 steps to establish and build business credit. And the reason I'm like doing these steps is because sometimes we need an exact roadmap. You know, the problem is that when we go online and when you ask someone how you do this, how do you do a certain thing, they may give you information, but they don't give you a step-by-step plan on how you go about it. What do I do first? What do I do second? How does the second thing relate to the third? How do all of these things relate together? So I like doing steps because that means that if you go to step 1 and you accomplish step 1, then you go to step 2, accomplish, and by the time you get to the end of those steps, you should be well on your way or well into receiving whatever it is that topic was about. So today we're going to talk about 9 steps to establish and build business credit. All right. You guys ready for it? All right. So let's go with number 1. First step to establishing and building business credit: register your business. Now, this has to come first. So if we're talking about business credit, you have to have a business, right? And although you can do a sole proprietorship business, which means that you're just basically doing business under your own social security number, even if you are a sole proprietor and you go to the IRS and get an EIN number for your business, is still a DBA. It's still a fictitious business name, doing business as. So that would be like Elliot doing business as. If I had a sneaker store, it would be Elliot doing business as Kick Rocks sneaker store. But it's still under me, which means that I am responsible for it. If someone sues me, then that lawsuit would come to me personally because it's a sole proprietorship. Nobody else is involved. All right. But anyway, so register your business. This is step 1. Get an EIN number and get a business bank account. So let's talk about that for a quick second. So when I say register your business, what I'm talking about is going to whoever it is, the city clerk of your particular state, whoever that is, and go and register a business. Whether if you're registering a sole proprietorship, that's your prerogative, or an LLC or a partnership or S corp or C corp or nonprofit, whatever it is that you, whatever type of business structure that you are building that you have envisioned, go register the business. That's first. In order to build business credit, you have to have a business. Part of that means that there's a couple of other steps when you register your business. You want to get an EIN number. That's simple. An EIN number is like having a social security number for your business. Remember, a business is a separate entity for you. I remember when Mitt Romney was running for president, he had one of those dinners where he was fundraising, and at the dinner he said something. He said something to the effect that a corporation is a person. A lot of people that heard it, and I saw it on the social media, they're laughing at, the corporation is a person. But in the ordinances of the earth, the corporation is basically a person, right? It has a birth date, the day that you form it. It has a death date if it was dissolved. It has a social security number, which is the EIN number. All of these things matter, and it is a separate entity. It lives, it dies, it breathes. It has its own existence, right? You could take a business to court, just like you would take a person to court. So it is like a person, but basically you want to get an EIN number once you register. That is like having a social security number. It is a special number that is attached, a 9-digit number that's attached to your business. Now, when you go, I'll go ahead and tell you how to do it. When you go on the IRS website, irs.gov. You can put in the search bar EIN number, and then you'll see a link that says apply for an EIN number. You do that. Although I do set up businesses for people, and I do everything from registration and EIN numbers and all of these things. I will let you know, EIN number, that's free. You can do it yourself. You can hire someone to do it for you, or you can do it yourself. It's free. Just make sure you go on irs.gov, because if you go somewhere else, someone will charge you. But anyway, you get your EIN number. Once you have your business and you have your EIN number, that means you have your corporate paper, your formation papers, no matter what type of business it is, and you have your EIN number, then you can go to the bank. You can go to a bank or a credit union and open up a bank account for your business, right? That makes, that's like the third step to get official. You want to open up a bank account, and what you need to open up a bank account, right? I like to buy a vowel. A bank account is you'll need your articles of formation for whatever type of business you register with the state. You'll need that. You'll need a driver's license. And what else will you need? Formation, driver's license, and you'll need the EIN number. So once you have all of those things, go to the bank, open it up. Now, you have banks and you have credit unions. I prefer credit unions and when you're starting up. So let me be clear. So when you're starting up, I prefer credit unions. This is not a rule of law. People have different feelings about that. The reason I say that is because credit unions, when you're starting up, usually you're trying to watch your dollars, because you have to, you need money and capital to build. Credit unions usually don't have a monthly fee, depending, because there are some that do. I have a couple of different credit unions, and there's two of them that I have that charge money, and then there's another one that I have that has no monthly fees. I do like banks also, because once you start moving and advancing, it's good to have a relationship with a bank. The first bank that I had a relationship with was Truist. Back then it was, I forgot the name of what it was before it, SunTrust and whoever combined. But anyway, open you a bank account. So register your business, get an EIN number, and open up a business bank account. All right, that's your first thing. So the second thing you want to do is, So the second thing you want to do when you open up your business to apply for business, you want to apply for business credit. Now, this is going to start with a Dun and Bradstreet number. Okay, so let's talk about what this is. What is a Dun and Bradstreet number? So there are 3 primary business credit bureaus. These are the bureaus that handle credit ratings for businesses. There are 3 major ones. You have Experian, Equifax, Dun and Bradstreet. Now, I remember when not too long ago, when they were talking about how the United States was getting downgraded in credit. This was somewhere around COVID. right before, right during, or somewhere around there. They were talking about the United States. They were being downgraded in their credit report. If I remember correctly, the specific agency that they were talking about was Dun and Bradstreet. So you have these three credit bureaus. You want to apply. You definitely want a Dun and Bradstreet number. This is one of the specific credit bureau. This is one of the easier ones to open up a credit account with, not get credit, but open up a credit reporting account. Basically, you go to dnb.com. That's David Nancy Beta.com. Dun and Bradstreet will allow you to get a Dunn's number for free. They have a free account. Now, usually when you're applying for credit, or you're applying for accounts or whatever, and a lot of places that you go to apply and put your information down, they're going to ask you for of course, your name, your EIN number and that stuff, but they will also ask you for your Dun and Bradstreet number. All right, so now Dun and Bradstreet is good at reporting supplier credit. So when I first started opening up credit for my business years and years ago, the first place, what I did is I opened up a Dun and Bradstreet account, I received my Dun and Bradstreet number, and then I started going to suppliers. What I mean by suppliers are, people or companies that offer in-house credit that is not from the major credit cards, but credit that is monitored by their own company. So, for example, Staple has a Staples credit card, which means it's not a MasterCard, Visa, or anything like that, but it's a credit card, an in-store credit card that you can get credit on it and start buying product from Staples. And they actually report. Office Max, you can get a card, you can get a in-house store with them. I remember, I think Walmart used to have a card that was just an in-house Walmart card. Like Amazon has an Amazon card that is separate from its Amazon business card. You have water companies, Arrowhead, and all of them. They usually have a in-house store card that you can use to do credit. The good thing about those is because these companies report to Dun and Bradstreet. And as they report, as you keep your credit going, as you pay your bills, they report to it, which causes you to get a score, index score. And that is good because when you go to apply for the major credit cards, they're going to want to check your index score. They're going to want to see that you have accounts and how you pay those accounts. Do you pay them people on time, right? They're going to want to see your credit worthiness. So the easiest way to get in is get you a DNB number, a Dun and Bradstreet number, and start opening up supply accounts. You may have a place that you go to that I didn't mention. Maybe they do. Maybe let's say they don't have a supplier credit card. What I would do is open up a trade account with them. And when I say trade account, what I mean is open up an account where you can say, let me have a net 30-day or net 90-day payment, meaning I go in, I get services from you, and just let me pay you 30 days after. You bill me and I pay you, within 30 days, or I pay you within 60 days or 90 days. Even if they don't report to Dun and Bradstreet, the good thing is you can upload those companies on your Dun and Bradstreet account, your online account, and then Dun and Bradstreet will go and they'll research it and they'll ask them, well, how are they paying on their account? Now, in order to get a regular credit card, you should have at least 5. Is that doing right? Yep. You should have at least 5 supplier accounts. So go ahead and get you some supplier accounts. Start doing business with them. You don't have to, get thousands of dollars worth of things. You can go get $100, pay them on time. Actually, in the next one, we'll talk about payments in one of the ones. But you want to pay them on time, pay them a little early if you want, but to show that credit. Do that for 2-3 months and then pay it off. Your credit rate for your business credit will skyrocket. It'll begin to go up, okay? So that is the second thing. If you're trying to get credit, that is the second thing that you want to do, all right? We said 9 things, so let's talk about the third. What is the third thing you want to do? Check your personal credit score. Do not be unawares of what's on your credit report, right? If you want to use it, this is something that you can use. If you're going to use it to your benefit, then use it to your benefit. There are good uses for it that you can use. Just be careful that you don't get caught up in a lot of the nonsense that has to do with it, overextending yourself and putting yourself in a hole and not only putting yourself in a hole, but having to pay other people premiums and interest and money for you being in a hole. That's a situation you don't want to go into. But anyway, check your personal credit score. Check it. You want to have a FICO target, a combined credit score target of 630. 630. 630 and above, you're doing good. You can start opening up some accounts. Less than 630, what you want to do is, so less than 630, let's say if it was 625 or 600. See, FICO scores below 630, I would say get a secured business card. That may be the way to go. So while you're doing that, you're building up your personal credit as well. So the idea is the higher your credit score, the more access that you have to capital, to funds, and also generally you may be paying a little less in interest, so you're paying less in order to access those funds, which is always good. You want to try to make sure that you pay out as little as you possibly can, so that you can give your business and yourself room to actually make money, right? It doesn't help to make a lot of money if you have to pay all that money and interest out to other people along with the debt that you have to pay. So anyway, you want to try to keep a credit score of 630. If it's below 630, then start looking at secured cards, which allow you to purchase something based on how much money you put into a secure. A secure card means that if you give me $200, I'll give you a credit card, and your limit will be $200. Right? You go ahead and you spend some of that money, and you pay that credit card back, and that shows how well you're able to do it. So yeah, that's a wonderful way to also begin to build your credit. Right? Let's talk about number four, because number four is kind of important. Number four is, uh, did I just use that one? Open up a business credit. Oh, okay. So open up a business credit card. So we're talking about these business credit cards, these secure cards, or whatever case may be. When you open up a card, this is something that you want to remember. Keep your card utilization below 30%. Now, what do I mean by that? That means try to make sure that you only spend 30% of the available credit on that card. So let's say you have a card that is $10,000. You really don't want to put more than $3,000 on that card. Once you go above 30%, it actually works as a negative for you on your credit bureaus. You'll actually get dinged. It'll actually go lower because because as far as the system is concerned, you're overextending your credit amount. That means you're building up credit, and the more, if you have a 10,000 limit and you're at $8,000, to the credit bureaus and to a lot of companies, it looks like, well, it's up there. They're not really paying that down, so the likelihood of me extending them credit is lower, because you have all that debt over there. You have no room, so your finances are probably a little bit jacked up right now. You spending too much money on credit and not enough money on on the cash or the income that you actually have. So, and this goes in anything, even when you're going to buy a house. What the banks want to see is that your credit utilization is less than 30%. For those people who have gotten mortgages, you know what I'm talking about. So use the credit cards in order to build credit. But if you possibly can, don't use them to live so that you're getting above 30%. What they used to tell us when I was growing up is, if you can't buy it for cash, then you can't afford it, right? So don't just start putting stuff on the credit card just because you got a new business. I know they have all these programs out there that says, oh, you can open up a business. I see a lot of them on TikTok. Oh, you can open up a business and buy a Lamborghini now, or you can open up a business in the government and you have to get this $50,000 loan. Well, it is still a loan, right? Which means you owe $50,000 plus the interest on it. So even if you have access to it, don't use it. And just because somebody says you have $50,000, don't use $50,000, right? Keep it below 30%. That way you'll be building your credit, and the longer you do that, and after you start paying those down, your credit rate will it'll actually grow a lot quicker. Okay. Let's talk about number five. Number five is please, 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 please. How James Brown said it, please, 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 please pay your bills on time. Pay your bills on time. The And when you're going for business credit, actually with business credit, pay early if possible. And the reason why I say pay early is because companies like DMB, Dun and Bradstreet, they actually give you a higher rating, or they actually give you more points on your credit report if you're paying early. I understand why you don't necessarily get that on, regular credit cards. If you pay early, they'll say thank you very much. You might lower some of your interest a little bit, maybe, but not. It doesn't actually boost your credit numbers as quickly as it does with Dun and Bradstreet. So, but remember, pay on time. If you begin to pay late, that's one of the marks that will work against you. That will either cause your credit score to go down or cause your numbers not to go up as quickly. So make sure that if you're getting these credit, that you made plans to pay on time, right? There's a scripture in the Bible that says something to the effect of, just in case I don't quote it word for word, it's a scripture that says something to the effect of, how will a man go to war unless he already count the cost to see whether he is able to go against 10,000 with his 1,000, right? Or is a man, how is a man going to build a house unless he's already counted the cost, lest he start building the house and he don't have enough money to finish it. Same thing with credit. How is a person going to go get credit and start spending money unless they count the cost that they will be able to pay the bill on time, lest it messes them up financially? Right? Just something like that. You guys get the point. But pay on time. Make sure that you pay on time. Pay early if you can. All right. Number six, these are going quick, right? They're not hard things to really incorporate. So number six is establish trade lines with your suppliers. Remember, I was talking about a little earlier about some of the vendors that you can use: Water, Staples, Office Max, Office. What is the other one? Office Depot. Some of these already have established cards. You can go get them. It's not hard to get these cards, especially as a new business. You can go get them. You can get you a little credit score. They may give you, $500 to $2,000. If you're really savvy, I would take those applications, fill it out by hand, and mail them in with a letter on your company letterhead that says, "Hey, we're opening up accounts with you. We expect to do we expect to have to purchase 3,000, a number or a certain amount of supplies from you in a month, so please give me a credit limit of $5,000." You can ask them that. You can't ask them that online. That's only really if you're mailing it in. You have a lot more leverage if you actually fill out the application and mail it in. And you send them that letter. You never know. They might go ahead and give you the five. They might start you off at the $500 or $2,000, but it never hurts to try. You won't know unless you try, right? What the scripture says: you have not because you ask not. So let's ask and have, okay? So you establish trade lines. Remember, those trade lines there are companies that usually report to Dun and Bradstreet, and if they don't report to Dun and Bradstreet, you can still use them as a trade reference on your account in Dun and Bradstreet, and they'll follow up and collect all your data, put it on your report, and boom, you have a credit score, and now it's starting to be a high credit score. Okay, so far so good. We're getting close to it. So number seven. What is number seven? Get targeted accounts. So when you're going to try to build your business credit, be mindful of where you're going. Try to target accounts that actually report to either Equifax, Experian, or DMB. You can collect some information. I usually tell people this: hey, one of the most beneficial creations, if you use it properly, that was created, is probably Google, right? You have Google at your fingertips, whether you're on the computer or on your phone. Ask Google anything. There's no reason to not know when you have Google on there. Now, of course, once you Google something, you'll have to discern what information is good, what information is bad. You'll have to compare it. So I usually Me personally, I usually say if you're going to look something up, look up that word, but look up the first 3 pages of Google so you can see all the different sites that talk about it, and you can start using information from different places and really begin to compile some, find out, read between the lines and compile some real information, some real truth that's going to help you. But anyway, get targeted accounts. Use lenders that you know that actually report. How do you know? Go research them. Do they report the DNB? Call them on the phone and ask them. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt you to call somebody on the phone and ask them. The worst thing that can happen is you get someone who has no idea what you're talking about by there and can't answer your question, and you ask them to connect you to someone who can. It's worth a shot. It's worth looking into because more information you have, the better off you'll be. All right. Number 8, drum roll, please. Yeah, no drum roll. Anyway, avoid judgments and liens. Now, this might seem like an obvious thing, but this will hurt your report. So once you start down this road and you start getting these credits, whether it's a secured card or whether, whatever the account is, please avoid judgment and liens. Please pay off your bills. Don't leave it there and not pay it, and then it goes to collections. Next thing you know, it's in court. Next thing you know, somebody got something on your credit report, because those things are hard to get off. Once it gets on your credit report, let me tell you, DMB will keep something on your credit report for up to 10 years. And a lot of people know, I even know personally from my past, because I experienced some things the good way and the not so good way, which is why I can share some of this. Even Experian and Equifax and all of them, they'll keep it on there up to 7 years. Now I know there's people online always telling you, hey, it's illegal for them to put anything on your credit report. And hey, if you write this letter, they'll have to take it off in 20 days. That may well be. But in the meanwhile, pay the bill, avoid judgment and liens, right? Because if you're a business owner, if you're going into business, the idea is that you're not trying to commit fraud, that you're not going out there to try to get something for nothing, right? We're talking kingdom business. You're going out there to do something. Now, if situations happen and it's unavoidable, I understand. But let's try not to have situations happen that are unavoidable. Let's try to make provisions so that we pay the bills that we create, right? I know the Lord will bless you and take it out, but usually when it comes from one place, it's coming somewhere else. Somebody is paying for something. Just try to avoid those things, and then there's no other conversation about that. All right. And finally, we have gotten to number 9. I think we've only been on here for about 32 minutes. Number 9, the last thing, keep your information current. So this comes with the 2 things. You want to keep it current, but first of all, you want to keep your eye on all 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, Dun and Bradstreet, right? Keep your eye on them. You want to know what's going on with them. In this world where people are hacking and people are manipulating and people are robbing and stealing, and as hard as you go to make your money, somebody trying to take your money. In this world that we live in, this system, this open system, keep your eye on what's going on with your business, with your credit reports, right? Make sure that everything on there is something that should be on there. If something's not being reported, go back and get them to report it. Whether you have to go back to the trade store, whether you have to call one of the credit bureaus, just make sure it's being reported. Make sure nothing pops up on there that's not supposed to be on there, right? Make sure that happens, because ultimately it's your business, so it's going to be your business to keep up with your business. Nobody's going to care, right? Nobody's going to care. These companies are not going to care. People that you're doing business with, they're not going to care. All they want to make sure that they get their money plus their interest. So it's really on you to make sure that you care, and also keep your information current. If you move, put that move on there. Sometimes we like to be a little incognito and not let anybody know where we are, not update our accounts. Keep your info current, because if you're trying to do business, if you're really going to use this account to try to do business, to try to improve your situation or your lot in life, it's important that it's really important that people be able to reach you. It's really important that you be able to get those bills on time. It's important that you have all the information. If the state is trying to get in touch with you because of your business or what, keep your information current. You want people to be able to reach you. You want to be able to get that information. You want to be able to get everything that's coming to you, right? All right. So I hope this was helpful for the majority of you. This is how you establish and you build your business credit from start, even if you've never had credit before, if you've had bad credit before, if you have excellent credit. This is how you start it. Now, if you have great credit, 630 and above, then some of these things you'll be able to skip. You'll be able to go right to the credit company and apply for credit in your business name. You'll probably end up being a co-signer for it, which not really a big deal because the credit card is in your possession anyway. And here's what I would also say. If you have, and this is just a little something extra on the end, if you have children, little ones, why not set them up for life from the beginning? You have a little, 10, 13, 15-year-old, however old they are. Number one, this is a little tax thing right here. Hire them from your business. You get to pay them, and you get to deduct that from your company. And, depending on how much you pay them, they may or may not be in the kitty tax. But here's the thing. If you have a credit card, if you have a business credit card, if you have a credit card, why not get another? You know how they allow you to open up additional accounts for other people in your business? Why not get one for your child? Put it on their social security number and begin building credit for them right away. You don't have to give them the card. You just, because you're paying the bill anyway. So if you're getting good credit for it, why not extend that credit to your child? So by the time they're ready to leave the house, they have A plus credit. They have, they can get, $100,000 cards, and they're set. One of the things that a lot of people don't do is they don't set up their family. They don't set up their generations to be able to operate in wealth from the beginning. How many people would have benefited if your parents would have done something like that? When I was growing up, a lot of parents, they were using the kids' credit, social security numbers, but it wasn't to get them credit. It may have had some diabolical reasons behind it, and some people were really messed up in credit by the time they turned 18 and found out that they had like the bottom of the list credit. Their credit score was 4. So, but that's just a little something I'll throw in there. If you can help the future generations come up, add them on there. Use this, teach them this, so that everybody can grow, and so that the Lord can begin to transfer wealth from you. It's the wealth that's the wicked, that's stored up for the just, but you have to do something to get it out of the pocket of the just, right? It's stored up there, but you need a product or a service that's going to make them want to transfer what they've stored up from their pocket into your pocket. So this is going to help you along the way to set yourself up so that you can walk in the mandate and the wealth that the Lord has prepared for you. All right. I hope this was beneficial. So I am going to take a short break. And what I'm going to do now is next, I'm going to shut off the video from all of the online and all of those who are live in the studio with me. If you have a question, prepare your question. I will be back in about 5 minutes. Glad you all were able to make it. Thank you so much. Hope this helped. I'll see you next time.